What's up, friends and family? We are back again to another episode of Only Pod Can't Judge Me. I'm your host, the big fella D King, and I got my main man, Illogic. Talk to him.
ILLOGIK dot Illogic, R to the K, aka Illogic 100. Holla at me.
And the barber himself, talk to his family.
It's your boy Wayne D the barber, Wayne D 253. We here. Only Pod Can Judge Me.
Hey, man, this is another episode, y'all. We're on the road still. My main man, RK, is on a world tour from Sacramento to L.A. He's touring the California streets, so we going to keep it rolling. Talk to us, man. How you guys this week been thus far, man?
I've been real solid. I ain't going to lie to you. It's been a solid week for me. Just maintaining, keeping it moving, keeping it positive, keeping positive energy. Hey, before we get started, hey, man, y'all like, share, hit the like button, pound it. Man, put us on. We out here, fellas.
Same for me, man. I've been out here doing my thing, man. Just, moving patterns, man, seeing family, seeing friends, you know what I'm saying? Tapping in with everybody I can. We did, chill, went swimming, you know what I'm saying? Your boy got a little, you know what I'm saying? Sat out there, son, and cooked a little bit, you know what I mean? Having a good time, you know?
For sure, man. I like to give a huge shout out to my baby boy, Sire Deshaun King. He turned 12 yesterday, and he's just growing into a beautiful. It's a beautiful thing to see your young kings, your young pups grow up and try to understand life a little bit better, man. It's I remember when he was born. It's funny that you can say that when you have kids now. I remember when you was born, when we're so used to hearing it from our parents and aunties and uncles, but to be able to have it for myself, and he's one of one, man, and I like to give a huge shout out to him that celebrated his 12th birthday yesterday. So we're gonna have some fun this weekend.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday, King.
For sure. Hey, fellas, we gonna open it up with Hard in the Paint, man. Shannon Sharpe and Skip is no more. Is that factual?
That's factual, man. It looks like your boy Shannon Sharpe is going to be out after the NBA Finals, man. I don't know what prompted it. I didn't see the episode, but it sounds like it's finito.
Man, elaborate on that a little bit, Wayne D.
Sheesh, that's crazy. Look, I'm like, man, I don't really when I be watching shows in the morning, I'm a first taker. And that Undisputed be coming on at the same time as First Take. So I don't really be catching it, but a lot of people be telling me to be going down on there that Uncle Shannon be doing his thing. So it's crazy for me to hear that Skip is running him off. Like, is it Skip? I mean, he ran, or Stephen A was the man, but I guess he ran from Stephen A, and now he running everybody else off. I'm like, sheesh.
Well, I guess I'd like to pose the question to you gentlemen: is Skip Bayless the problem? Is he a problem for sports? Because I know he's a LeBron James hater for sure. But is he a problem for sports? Talk to me.
I think he be so biased. He be having so one-sided opinion. I'll be like, bruh, you always got to play the bad guy? Like, sheesh. When are you ever the good guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's funny. I don't know if I think about him as the bad guy or the good. I kind of think about him like, he's an antagonist. He plays. I don't know if he's. You know what? I can't say. I don't know. I don't think it's a role anymore. I think this is who that guy is. You know what I'm saying? He's just a bad guy, man. And he comes off with these takes. I mean, the one about the Cincinnati Bengals game when DeMar Hamlin died on the field, and he came out with that like, "Are we playing next week?" That was kind of cold-hearted. That was totally.
What are we playing?
Totally disrespectful at the highest level of disrespect. I didn't like that at all, man. Especially when you don't know what's going on, man. You gotta read the room. Come on, man. You've been on the TV on the tube for a long time, and some people love you, some people hate you, but at the end of the day, you're getting paid for what you do. So obviously you're good at it. I don't know if it's an act or if that's the setup of how he's supposed to be, but it seems like you said, RK, that's who he is, man.
Yeah. Hey, they say, hey, you show me one time, look, you show me your hand, I'm gonna believe you. I'm gonna believe it. After you keep showing me a few times, and man, he's made me a believer of, like you say, man, that guy is just, he is what he is. That Hamlet incident was crazy though, because he was like, look, we playing football next week, like, bro.
Yeah.
On the field, or like he was like finished. I think it was. I don't even know if he was playing. Like he was saying when we were playing. I think he was asking when we finishing the game. I don't even know if it was playing. If it was a next week game. He was like, "Oh, my man died. Get him off the field. Or we finishing this game."
That is disrespectful at all levels, man.
Yeah, that's pretty cold blooded, man. I think sports needs them guys. Them guys that kind of ruffle feathers and say some things that put people at odds and cause some controversy. To keep sports interesting. I'm pretty sure the NBA loves it because it drives the narratives and keeps things hot, keeps things steamy. But that particular incident, with Damar Hamlin, man, that was a little bit too far. And I know that, like you said, he's a LeBron hater, so maybe that's what's running Shannon Sharpe off. You know what I mean? Maybe he wants to get out. I don't know if it's his choice or the choice of them.
I think you like Skip because you're kind of like a little bit like him when it comes to LeBron.
Right.
Hey.
I think you're a little bit like him when it comes to LeBron, man.
I don't think so, man. I'm not even gonna. Man. We went through that last week, man.
I know, but I can't let it go. I mean, you said you don't know if he's a bad guy. He's the bad guy. What is Scarface? What was his famous line? You need people like me.
That's all I'm saying. Sports needs guys like him because he is a bad guy. You know what I'm saying? He is a guy that keeps it interesting.
So is Stephen A. Smith the bad guy too?
Yeah, depending on the team you like. If you're a Cowboys fan,
see, for me, look, I be thinking Stephen A. He cool. Like he keeps it real to me. For me personally,
man, he be wrong.
I agree. But it's his opinion. His opinion is wrong. But I'm talking about just being like cool. Like Stephen A. was just cool.
Yeah, I think they're all cool. I mean, when you get that high up, man, and in that position, man, it's like you said, hate it or love it, the underdog's still on top. So I mean, it's kind of like you gotta pick your poison in which direction you want to go with it. There's gonna be the good squad. There's gonna be the bad squad. Just like the show with Mike Wilbon and I can't remember the other gentleman, but Pardon the Interruption is like Tony Kornheiser. Yeah, that show I used to watch that, and I'm like, man, why is one always against the other? But that's how it was staged and set up. You know what I'm saying? To kind of speak the different perspectives. So I mean, at the end of the day, man, if you got the mouthpiece and it puts people's butts in the seats or glued to the TV, then you're winning at the end of the day.
To be honest, I'm like you, Wayne D, man. I really don't. I don't watch that show. I'm more of a first take guy too. I like watching Stephen A. And the people he bring on and how he debates his points. But and to be quite honest, I never really felt Shannon Sharpe like that. You know what I'm saying? So
that was cool.
I don't know. I think he took his LeBron love too far. You know what I'm saying?
See,
I mean, he to the point of he on the court arguing with people over plays. Come on, man.
Real NBA game.
It's like, come on, man.
Hey, did you guys like his sweater he had on that day? Mr. Belvedere?
Like grandma knitted it in the backyard, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I didn't realize that Uncle Shannon was so buff though. That messed me. I'm like, man, he looked like he's in football shape right now to play for him.
Like, man, tight end coming. You need a tight end. Here he comes.
Right. Man, he might actually help Russell Wilson up.
Okay, he
was there. No, yeah, man.
He got a few rings though. I got to give it. He done did his thing. He knows.
No, he's definitely Hall of Famer. He's a beast. But like you said, you take your show from the field to the TV screen, man. That seemed like that's where the magic happened. Because again, he's on that show. He got his own Uncle Shay Shay. What is the show called?
Club Shay Shay.
Club Shay Shay, which is dope. You know what I'm saying? So he's doing his thing.
But that got dropped with this, that's moving on. I don't know what's going to happen with the show, but it's not going to be on it's not going to be on the network no more either.
Really?
Yeah, or not the network, but Fox Sports was producing it.
Uh-huh.
And they're not going to produce it no more now that his contract is over, or now that he's moving on, I should say.
Wow, that's interesting. Well, I'm sure his future is bright. He's been around long enough, and that he can find his way. But is Skip Bayless? You guys didn't answer the question. Is Skip Bayless a problem for sports?
I like RK was saying, I think you need those kind of people. I don't think he's a problem because, like you said, you got to still have people who play the other side also. I think Skip's cool. I think Skip's cool too. It's just I just don't. He'd be rubbing me the wrong way. I'm not a fan.
I do smell the bias a lot of times when, like we go back to the white quarterback thing, and he kind of, he sticks to those guidelines and stuff like that. You could tell that he gotta. I mean, maybe those are his beliefs, and I gotta take him at face value. But I think it's good for the sport. But I think he could progress a little bit and come along with the time.
Like when you say, and he kind of reminds me of because even on the Stephen A. show, Mad Dog be talking about the old days all the time, bro. I'll be like, bro, if you bring up Jim Erst or whatever the old dude, the quarterback a long time ago, if you bring up any of these old baseball, Babe Ruth, bro, he can be bringing up old Muhammad Ali. I'll be like, bro, your stuff be so old. But Skip's kind of the same way. Like you say, he's just stuck in his ways. So I mean, like you said, we just see it at face value. That's who he is.
Yeah, nah, man. It's like I said, man. I wonder what's in store for Uncle Shannon, man, and then Skip kind of doing it. I'm sure he'll find another host or somebody to go along with him. That will make it just as controversial as he likes to do it.
Yeah.
Hey, do you think there needs to be a brother? Because they trying to do the black host and white host with the Stephen A. and Skip, and then Stephen A. and Stephen A. and Mad Dog, or Stephen A. and
JJ
Reddick, Skip and and Shannon. You think it need to be the black, or you think it need to be white?
I mean, to me, honestly, it doesn't matter as long as people are knowledgeable of what they're talking about. I don't look at it as a color thing just because. Like I said, Kendrick Perkins is funny to me, but some of the stuff he be saying, he be right. He be right though. You know what I'm saying?
I like Kendrick.
Yeah, so like I said, people, it's different strokes for different folks. Like, Say that again.
I said I like Kendrick and I like Marcus Spears.
Yeah.
So I do.
No, for sure, man. Like I said, when you get to that level, man, it's just a matter of, who has the most knowledge or who's doing the most research. And the fact that you got to make it look good and you got to make it sound good, for sure. Yeah. Moving on with the hard hitting, man. Again, Monte Williams, he's actually hired immediately by Detroit, and I think it's a 6-year, $72 million deal.
Yeah, that's
like paid like a player. What is going on? Talk to me.
12 a year? Jeez.
Yeah.
I was wondering about Detroit, man. I mean, I know they got Jaden Ivey. They got a squad there, and they didn't really do nothing last season. Maybe they're just desperate. I don't know.
Well, I think that there's a lot of young ones because their star player that they drafted first a couple years back, Cade Cunningham, got hurt, unfortunately, and he was balling before he got hurt. He was really balling, and they got Jalen Durant. They got Isaiah Stewart. They got Jaden Ivey. They got a young squad. I don't know how long it takes them to figure it out, but I hear that Monte Williams is a player's coach. So again, we'll see how that unfolds though. Because again, how good was Phoenix good before he got there? It's a question. I thought they were not that good. I thought their record wasn't that good before he got there, but
did they have Devin Booker before he got there?
Yeah, D Book was there. Phoenix had a lot of losing seasons though with D Book. They wasn't winning them games early. He had to take them lumps.
Yeah, but the thing with Detroit though is I think Detroit is just like it's one of them cities that you never really see stars kind of come to when they won the championship. It was just a great team. Like it was a team effort with Rashard Lewis.
Wait,
Ben
Detroit?
Ben Wallace?
Yeah, Hamilton.
Rashard Lewis.
Rashard, you know what to say.
Come on, man.
Rashard.
So listen, Wayne D. Not to cut you off. They had star power. They had all-star and Chauncey Billups.
I won't say
Chauncey Billups. Oh, he was a star. He was an all-star. Ben Wallace was an all-star.
No, there's a difference. See, there's a difference between being an all-star, Dave, because D'Lo was an all-star. Wiggins was an all-star.
Right, but I'm saying Chauncey Billups was one of the best point guards in the NBA at the time when he was playing. You got to look him up. He has a nickname, Big Shot.
In the league,
Big Shot Billups.
This was Darren Williams still in the league. D Rose.
Did I say he was the best point guard? I said he was one of the best. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying.
Top 10.
He was in there. Chauncey Billups was nice.
Oh, look, but like I was just saying, I don't know. To me, Detroit isn't one of them markets that just says, "Oh, I'm gonna bring in a star." So for me, I think they get it done either through the draft, because I think that whole team, when Detroit won, only person that wasn't drafted with Detroit that wasn't really brought in was Rasheed Wallace. So, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he came from Portland, I think.
Chauncey Billups wasn't drafted by Detroit.
Who did he go to?
He played in Denver, bro.
I thought it was, and Denver was after.
No, it was before. I gotta double check that though. Don't quote me on that.
Because Denver was there with he was there with AI.
Did Richard Hamilton start in Detroit from the beginning?
Richard Hamilton, I think, started in Detroit.
Detroit
started in Detroit.
Detroit drafted him?
I think so.
I'm gonna have to look at that. I hear what you're saying, but those guys were big time. Like Ben Wallace was Defensive Player of the Year, all NBA first team, all defense.
I agree. Him and Tayshaun, long arm of the law. I believe it. But that's what I'm talking about with Detroit. The Detroit isn't a market that brings in like star power. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna go out and go pay for a LeBron. They're not gonna go out and pay for a Kawhi Leonard. They ain't gonna go out and play for, a KD. They're not gonna do it. So for me, if Monte gonna get it done there, Monte's gonna have to build, like you say, through the draft and have a team built through the draft.
Now, was that ownership? Was that ownership, or was that the GM? Who's not paying? Because back then they had that one brother that was the GM. He was a Detroit guy from back in the past, but
what's his name is there? Joe Dumars is there.
Oh yeah, is he still there?
I believe so.
Yeah, Joe Dumars. Is he? Is it him? Not you saying that he isn't going to bring anybody in, or is it the ownership that's not going to sign anybody? Is what you're saying?
I'm not like I don't know. I'm just, for me personally, this is my opinion. I just don't see Detroit being one of those teams, because that's what Detroit's needing. Detroit's gonna need like a bona fide like star, like a Giannis, like a bona fide Embiid, a Joker. They're gonna need like a bona fide top 10, top 20 star to come alongside all them young bucks to elevate that team, or we always gonna see Detroit bottom of the barrel.
You don't think Monte Williams can do it?
I think he can do a great job coaching them, but I don't see them having I don't see them being higher than a 6 seed.
That's a plus though. And just to give you some updates, Chauncey Billups was drafted by Boston. Richard Hamilton was drafted by the Wizards. So neither one of them.
I do, because he came over after Sprewell left Detroit, I think it was. I do remember that. You're right.
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, I think obviously if they can get it back to the bad boy days with the great Isaiah Thomas, I don't know, but like I said, I think Monte Williams is a guy that can help build that culture with a lot of young players. They don't really I don't know if they really have any veteran players like that, but I think if they can put it together, they might have a chance to be decent in the East. That's just my opinion.
Hold on, let me ask you a question, Wayne D. Is there like a rivalry between the Pacers and in Boston? Is there some kind of rivalry? I know the Malice in the Palace, but I'm saying, is there a rivalry between them two teams?
Between Pacers and Detroit?
Yeah.
No, there was a time when they were stomping on us, like he said, when they had Isaiah and when they were Bad Boy, Dennis Rodman, they were solid. They were stomping on us. Then we took over and started, kind of lightweight destroying them. Then Tayshaun Prince did his thing in the finals or in the Eastern Conference Finals. That was the year we should have won and we should have played Kobe. But I mean, they did their thing, and Tayshaun had to block at the end to send him on to the finals. But nah, I don't think there's no beef there. I'm just saying personally. Only person I know really doing his thing from Detroit is Jalen Rose. That's about it. And he did
Wait. Who?
Jalen Rose.
You said he's the only person that did his thing in Detroit?
No, he's the only one to be bigging him up. Like he's the only one from Detroit I really know who really touched it.
Oh yeah.
I don't know nobody else who reps Detroit.
The real Isaiah, the Isaiah Thomas that played for the Pistons rep Detroit heavy. Bad boys.
Speaking on it.
Huh?
You don't be speaking on it. I don't be hearing them.
You got to watch NBA TV.
I'll be watching.
He be talking about it. He's a Piston. He's a Piston.
All right.
Look. Yeah, for sure. But so with Monte Williams being hired, there was somebody else that was fired. Ime Udoka from the Boston is now the coach for the Houston Rockets, and they got a lot of young talent. What you guys' take on him?
See, now that's different. I got a different opinion on that. I think Houston can be solid because Houston's a market I think will bring in a veteran, like how they brought in James Harden. Like I think they'll bring in veteran leadership that can elevate that team. Because that team, to me, I'm not gonna lie to you, it might be, I think one piece away. Giannis up for contract, LeBron up for contract. Man, somebody like that come over there in Houston. Sheesh.
Man, them guys ain't going to Houston, bro.
Dang, bro.
Mob ties in Houston.
Ain't going to no Houston, man. Now, is James Harden, is he back in Houston or they want him? Or he might go?
Too. You're right about that. That could be an option too.
I heard something about it. They said if and Doc Rivers got fired. So it's crazy, man. It's like it's just all these coaches, they're in a fraternity, so they always find a job. I mean, where does Doc land?
Ooh. I wouldn't mind seeing Doc back in Phoenix.
Has he ever been in Phoenix?
No. I'm saying I meant to say I wouldn't mind seeing him at Phoenix.
Oh, in Phoenix. Okay. What about you, Arcade? Where you want to see Doc Rivers land?
I don't know. It depends on what vacancies are there, man. I'm not exactly sure. I think Doc Rivers is a hell of a coach, man. But he's a coach that needs the right pieces. I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe, I got an idea, but it might be too late. Now, I don't think they're looking for a coach because Chauncey Billups is there, but Portland.
Nah, they like Chauncey.
Yeah,
they like Chauncey down there?
Yeah, they like Chauncey down there.
Well, yeah. I don't know where Doc – I mean, what else is available for Doc? I don't even know what other vacancies are there.
So who took the Phoenix job? Nobody yet, right?
Nobody yet, no. I think Phoenix is the only job open right now. Because I think Nick Nurse went from Toronto to Philly.
Oh, so who? But Nick Nurse left. But then also Milwaukee doesn't have a coach, but I think they just hired an assistant coach.
They hired the dude from Toronto.
What's his name? Adrian Griffin, right?
Yeah.
Milwaukee.
Adrian Griffin is not a coach in Milwaukee. So again, right now there's a couple vacancies. Still, who's actually in Toronto and who's actually in Phoenix?
I think Toronto got somebody too.
Oh, do they? I'll research that as well.
Milwaukee's coach.
Milwaukee's Adrian Griffin. He just like you just said.
Who was the old coach?
Mike Budenholzer.
I think Budenholzer went to Toronto.
Okay.
Hey, I don't know, man, but it sounds like Mazulla, he's gonna need a spot after this season because he's talking about he lost the locker room in the middle of the playoffs. That guy was tripping. I ain't never heard a coach say that in the middle of the playoffs. Like I lost the locker room. Come on, man. They said Al Horford had to coach the team. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
Bill Russell style. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. I mean, that was a weird deal, man. Jaylen Brown, is he gone now? Does he need his own team? Does him and Jason Tatum need to separate? It's like a lot of speculations out there, like as if they need their own team where they can play against each other. I mean, it's like, you know, Boston has been there, to the Eastern Conference Finals, for the last 5 years?
Yeah, maybe five.
Yeah, it's a tough deal, man. They only allow you to get there so many times before they do something different with it, you know?
I wouldn't bust them up. I mean, that's success for a lot of teams, right?
No, you're right. But you got to think about Boston. That the city of Boston is one of the most winningest organizations, if not the winningest organization in the NBA history. I mean, obviously with Mr. Russell winning that many rings as a player, as 11 as a player, and then 13 with coaching as well. So I mean, like I said, if they're not the winningest, they're one of the most winning organizations out there to do it. So I'm sure they got expectations to try to get back, you know?
Yeah. I think they tied 17 with the Lakers. But yeah, I think, like I said, I think they've been there the last 5 years. But when you get there, that expectation no longer is just getting there. It's taking your team over the hump. And for me personally, I'm not a fan of them both playing together. They almost kind of remind me of the same thing with in Washington with what's the
John Wall and Bradley Beal?
John Wall and Bradley Beal, right? Like excellent offensive minded players and can get buckets at any time. But you see what they have to do. They have to split. Almost like CJ McCollum and Dame Lillard. Like they're ultimate scorers, like they get it done, but just getting there, to me personally, I wouldn't feel accomplished. I don't think they accomplished a thing by getting there. They lost. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, all them duos that you just mentioned, they break them up, and then nothing happens. The players end up finding other teams, and it never pans out. So if they break up Brown and Tatum, they're basically just saying they quit and they want to rebuild again. You know what I mean? At this point.
Or do you bring another hitter in to replace that person? That's pretty much, in order to win a championship, they're saying you got to team up now.
Yeah.
Period. You got to team up with somebody. You got to have two guys that can go get it.
LeBron James is looking for a third ring. I mean, not a third ring, but
look at you. You're bringing the man back up again. He's on your mind. I'm about to start calling skip logic, man.
I'm just saying. Hey, we know that he wants to win one. It didn't happen in LA. That team is ready-made. You pull Horford out, put LeBron James in. Come on, that's automatic W right there, I think.
Man, that ain't gonna happen.
Wait, what? Pull Al Horford out and pull LeBron James out and put Al Horford in for the Lakers?
No.
Put LeBron in with Boston with Al Horford gone.
Yeah.
And you say that they win automatically?
Boston wins automatically. Yep.
I'm going to leave my comments where they're at.
You think? I'm just saying. You don't think LeBron James, Jaylen Brown, and Jason Tatum on the same squad is not winning a championship?
I would like to say yes, but again, it would remain to be seen.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say nah. It'll be tough to make that happen. You know that new CBA agreement that they have, they're not allowed to get two. I think it's three. You can have two of them, but you can't have three supermax players all on the same team.
That means LeBron got to take a pay cut.
Oh no, he ain't taking no pay cut.
Man, yeah. we're getting off topic.
Okay,
man.
okay.
Going back to LeBron again.
When we only get from LeBron, Arcade keeps bringing him up.
Hey,
don't put that on me. I have one question.
Rumor has it that there's something that may be going on with Kim K and the great Tom Brady.
Yeesh.
What is going on? What is
And
going on?
I will say one thing: the boys done playing, so the curse ain't gonna do nothing to them. Because anybody she done messed with, look, there is a curse for sure.
Yeah. Hey man, what's your perspective on that, RK?
She's trying to get as many rings as Tom Brady.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Hey.
Hey, but if it works though, you know, if they feeling each other, man, and if it works, man, hey, more power to them. You know what I'm saying?
Man, he had Giselle though, bro.
He did. He couldn't give it back out.
Man, he had Giselle, bro.
Yeah. You know, he likes his footballs, you know, a certain way. And so that's all I'm saying.
Oh my gosh, man. Now you're killing Brady too, man.
I'm just saying, Giselle don't really have,
too much fluff.
Exactly.
Hey man, bro, I don't even know what to say about that, man. I heard about the rumors, man, and nobody's really saying nothing though. Hasn't nobody denied it, or have they said it's real? So it's kind of just up in the air, question mark, you know?
Right.
Well, I kind of read into it a little bit, and it said that you know, one thing is that she was on his resort in the Bahamas driving his cart, talking about she's interested in buying her own place at that same resort where he has his property at in the Bahamas. And you know, she's been quoted as saying she can't date regular people because, you know, if she even looks at a regular person for too long, the tabloids is all over it. So she understands she got to date celebrities.
Yeah, level up. If she gonna make the move.
Now, what's you guys' take on that?
Hey, I'm not in her shoes, but I feel where she's coming from. I mean, you got something you got to live up to, bro. Like, man, you got a status, you got to keep. Hey, she got a rep to protect.
Yeah, I mean, she went Kanye West to Pete Davidson and now to Tom Brady. I mean, allegedly, you know what I'm saying, Tom Brady. I don't know, man. That's crazy. You know what I mean?
I just say, man, only Pod can judge me, man. I don't know.
Laker sidelines, though. I was surprised to see her at a lot of them Laker games, though.
Yeah, that she wasn't just watching Tristan Thompson. I'm not even gonna say who she was watching, but the tabloids came out about that too, though.
I heard about that too.
I'm not gonna say his name.
I heard. Hey, Mr. What was he? Game 6 or Game 7?
Man.
Wait. Man. Oh, I got to rewind the tape to see who was hooping that game. Who put up?
I will let you rewind it and you can figure it out on your own, man. But yeah, man, Kim K always finds a way to stays relevant. I mean, like I said, I mean, she's the ultimate influencer, right? In order to make as far as being the topic of discussion, she finds a way. I mean, like I said, I mean, hey, do you, man? You only have one life to live, man, and you gotta live it how you feel.
That's right, right.
Interesting topic. Want you guys to touch bases on this. Should a trans woman, or a boy who identify as a girl, be allowed to compete against girls? Because it's a huge thing that's happening right now in sports all over the country. Can you guys shed some light or some perspective on that?
Man, I'll jump in first, man. I know that this is a wild topic, man. You know, this is something, like you said, is all over the news, man. We keep hearing headlines. It's kind of like, you think about this. I even know that Congress is even looking at this, you know, considering writing laws to prevent this. You know, and I just take it to the extreme, man. I was watching a clip on the other day, and I seen I think it was a scary movie clip or something, and it surprised the heck out of me because it was the girl had to fight Mike Tyson.
Yeah, I saw that too. I just saw that.
Oh, hold up! I gotta pause this recording, man. We gotta start this part over again. Hold up, man.
Right. An interesting topic. Again, right now, fellas, is all over the news worldwide. Should trans women, which boys who identify as women or girls, be allowed to compete against girls? It's an interesting topic. I'd love to hear you guys' perspective on it.
It's something that I've seen in the news, man. It's been in the news heavy. I see that Congress is even speaking up on it, man. They try to talk about it, writing laws to prevent it, because they're concerned about the safety and health of these women. And, as I've been seeing, as I've seen on the internet, man, I've seen on a few of the memes showing the videos. It's a parody, but the girl that's got a box Mike Tyson. You know what I'm saying?
That's tough.
Right.
And my perspective on it is this, man. I'm just thinking that man, for my daughter, let's say it's softball.
Right.
My daughter's been training all these years to get to college, and she's top tier. She's one of the best in the state or whatever playing softball. And then some, trans woman comes into the sport, and then all of a sudden is knocking balls out the park. And or let's say it's a team of trans women, and they just take all those scholarships and just blast all these other teams that have been struggling and striving inside there, playing against their other people of their gender to become the top tier. I mean, it's okay, it's an unfair advantage, just because of nature, not because of anybody else's doing. You know what I mean?
And it's a very, very touchy subject too. You know what I'm saying? With the fact of, like they said with the track meet, like there was a transgender, female or male that did as a female, and it just won all the races. You know what I'm saying? And just man.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Just a few months back, I think it was last year, when the transgender who did that in swimming, who they I ain't gonna say he or she, who they were able to compete against, he or she, the transgender, won all the races in swimming and was breaking collegiate world records as a swimmer. I could be wrong about what I had heard, that the gentleman who decided to become a woman, he was winning or he was losing in all the races in men, and then he decided to go to the other side, and then he destroyed all the women. I was watching in the MMA, and this, I don't know if y'all seen it or not, where the transgender dude was fighting the women like, bruh, we are way stronger. I don't care, the weakest dude, the weakest. I don't care, your weeniest dude in your school has the ability to knock out the toughest girl at the school.
Yeah.
And MMA is like knees, elbows, kicks, everything. It ain't like this, you boxing. I can see Layla Ali, me and Layla boxing. She might get the best of me because she know how to box. I can't kick her. But if it was MMA, bruh, I'd destroy her. But that's crazy. I don't like RK was saying, I don't think it's fair. I don't think or if it is so, I think the records that they hold, it should be in a different category. It shouldn't just be in a category of just women.
No, I look at it just like in the fact of, let's throw transgender aside. I don't feel, this is me personally, just my opinion, I feel like if a girl wants to play tackle football in high school, I'm like a little bit afraid if a guy, a linebacker, and if a female's playing running back, and if he tackles her like he would tackle a young man, then would they look like the bad guy?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? I'm not even, let's even throw transgender out the window and just say just normal with a 265-pound or 50-pound linebacker that's in shape, and a young lady may be playing running back. If he hits her and she's hurt, then it was like, why the heck would you do that to a woman? You know what I'm saying? It's just a really weird scenario. And I'm all for equality. I was raised by a woman. You know what I'm saying? But like everybody has their own lane. Like they have women's sports teams and they have men's sports teams so that you can compete against, you know what I'm saying? And just I don't know, man. It's interesting, is what I would say. It's very, very interesting.
That's crazy. Mentioning that basketball, that football one, because I did see a meme just a few days ago of a chick playing tackle football and caught a pass out of the backfield as a running back, and it was like, look at Becky get her first catch, and you just see the linebacker just destroy it. Like I'm like,
yeah, that's tough, man. Because let alone a young man being able to take that hit, because women's bodies are built differently, you know.
Yeah, you know, like you said, you know, transgender aside, man, I'm wondering if the way that we solve this is to have a DNA test now, because I know they check grades and stuff and ages for kids to make sure they're in the right grade, because they don't want no 13-year-old playing in the 10-year-old, you know, team.
That's happening. Like that. That's happening too, though.
That's happening.
That's happening.
And so they're trying to check, you know, they try to do checks for that. So maybe with these men and women, to make sure that, you know, the genders are who they are by nature, by science. They got to do a DNA check to make sure that, you know, you could be a man and play against other men, or a woman play against other women, just natural women. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't want to offend nobody, but I'm thinking they got to do something to that effect.
Yeah, like I said, it's a very sensitive situation to those. But at the end of the day, like I said, man, when you look at, I have a daughter, and I'm not okay with my sons playing, even my youngest son. You're not going to wrestle with your sister, because that's not it to me. And that's my own personal opinion pertaining to it. You know what I'm saying? So different strokes with different folks as far as that goes. But I just know that they make that people make choices and decisions based off of what they feel. But like I said, it can't be just when it's this way, because if somebody does something and that person gets hurt, then are they wrong for it? You see what I'm saying? Or are they the bad guy? Or what is the situation then? Nobody wants to talk about that. So,
right. I mean, we don't let lightweights fight heavyweights. You know what I'm saying? Right. For a reason.
Right. And I heard they were able to test to see if they were testosterone blockers. That's what they had to use prior to becoming into the women's sport. But you got to think, even if you block my testosterone from now till when I'm gone, I still have the ability. I still have the strength and ability that I've gone from these last few years that I've gained. And so if a man has gone 18, if he's starting in college, if he's done 18 years of being a man, he has a ton of testosterone growth. And all of a sudden he blocks it for 2 years, and he's still just as strong as an 18-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, right. All of that plays a part. But yeah, man, like I said, man, it's an interesting topic. I mean, we're gonna see what Congress does, though. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Because they're like I said, there's a lot of complaints about it, though, with the peoples that are involved that are competing. That's where the issue's coming from those that are competing. You know what I'm saying? And then with the parents of those that are competing as well. So, you know, like I said, hopefully they'll make the right decision to make it line up to where it's fair. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
That's my take on it. Our friend, our brother, the talented Jamie Foxx, he was left paralyzed and blind after being forced to take a COVID-19 test. Does the handling of this virus make you question anything? Like, I need you guys' real perspective on that, because like there's been so many different things that have been said with what's going on with Jamie. So now for this to come out, what is really going on?
Man, prayer for that guy. My honest opinion about it, I'm gonna be real. I think this was something that was man-made. Something that was it's me. This is my, like I said, this is my personal opinion. I could be wrong on it, but I think it was population control, a way to kill off a lot of the elderly, or the sick, who had underlying agendas. I think that virus was a way to kind of say it was a pandemic or whatever they wanted to call it. I thought that was to me personally, I think their way of population control.
Your take, okay?
You know, there's, you know, they like the saying goes, there's a lot of there. You know, as we step farther away from it, and you know, we're starting to see the evidence of what has happened, what we just experienced, and not only how it veers away from norms, but also what was supposed to happen inside that situation. You know, and then to see, it's a hard thing for me, man, because as y'all know, my daughter, she developed a condition called MIS-C, which is supposed to be a COVID-related disease that came up out of nowhere. Basically, some people that caught COVID would react in a different way, and the way that she reacted, it was causing her to faint and have all these multiple problems. And she spent a couple of days in the hospital because of it. And so I look at it at the up close, vision of it, and see how it impacted my daughter. And then, after she went through that experience, she wanted to get the vaccine because of the fear of that experience itself. But it's something that and then I reluctantly got the vaccine as well as my wife. And it's something I wish I wouldn't have did. I didn't want to. I went against all my intuition and everything. I've got friends and family members that were impacted by this virus, man, and not impacted by the virus per se. Some passed away from the virus. Some passed away post vaccine. So maybe the virus, they couldn't prevent it, but I think the way that they went about it, the quarantine and shutting down everybody, make you stay in the house, don't go anywhere, don't do anything. We see Florida, which has the highest population of elderly people, and they weren't impacted in the same way as everybody else. And then you see the death rate in America compared to other countries that didn't quarantine and take that route. The numbers are 3 to 4 times as high. There's just a lot of questions there. Like the farther it gets in the rearview mirror, the more that we see that something's just not adding up there. And I question it, man. And I question it, and I fear moving forward because they suspended rights. They changed a lot of things in order to push that that quarantine through.
Right.
Well, if we're being 100% honest, we really lost 2 years of our life of you had to be able to cope with just whoever lived in your house. And that's the message that we were told and how to do it. Like the grocery stores were empty. Restaurants went out of business. Mom and pop shops out of business. Like different things they couldn't keep up. Different gaming places, like when you take the kids to like the round ones, those places movie theaters were bellying up because the people weren't in there. And like, if you really think about it, my son suffered from it as far as school. He went from like 5th grade to 7th grade of being in middle school, where all of a sudden you have 6 classes and the atmosphere is just completely different from elementary. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's impacted and hit people different ways. And like I said, in my household, everybody had COVID, but I never got it. And I'm laying in the bed next to my wife, but I was just fortunate enough to never get it. Like when we've tested, everybody in the house tested that was positive. I was the only one that was negative. And so it's strange because we don't know the real of what's what.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, some people, it took them out. Some people, it had an effect where they were sick for a day. Others were sick for a week. Some people caught it and then caught it again when they said you couldn't catch it twice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like a lot of different perspectives. I remember when, and I'm sure he doesn't mind me saying, Wayne Deese told me he had it. He was sick for like one day, and then he was back to normal.
Didn't feel a thing. Like, yeah.
And then, Arcade, there was situations with you where you felt sick. You know what I'm saying? You were kind of messed up. So it's just like, it's crazy because my wife, when she had it, she was really sick, but the kids, it didn't affect them at all. So it's just, man, you fear the unknown sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And like, we still really don't know
exactly
really what's what because they tell us now that it doesn't exist anymore. But then you hear situations like this,
right, and
it's like, well, what's really going on?
Yeah,
right. And that's where I'm in fear of it. As is like you say, you don't hear COVID-19 throwing out there like that, like how it was pushed in front of us in 2019 and in 2020 and halfway through 21, like it was pushed. And I'm not really hearing too much about it, even with the kids coming home with tests. Like, they were coming home with boxes and boxes and boxes from the school of testing. And I'm like, now they're just like, if you have a sneeze or a cough or whatever it is, you're yet still going back to school as if it's nothing. And I'm like, that's crazy.
Like a common cold.
How could it be nothing? How could something that powerful and killing that many people and running that rapid just to be nothing anymore? And not only that, like Arcade was making mention of before with the whole Florida situation, because I'm not sure that Florida shut down anything and they quarantined anything. Florida was just letting them do as they please, but it wasn't running rapid like they say it was supposed to be doing. And in your quarantine, I think your quarantine was really your immune system wasn't able to fight none of the diseases that was going on. So it's almost weakening and hindering you from fighting off the virus that you would have got.
Yeah, that's another perspective in the way you can look at it. I think it was just all bad. It's like really Thanos snapped his finger and it really happened. Right. It was like boom, and half of the population just disappeared, man. Right. It's almost like that was real.
On it, but man, sheesh.
It almost like that was real, bro.
And you know what's crazy about that is that at the same time, we seen the environment start to repair itself. All the animals started coming out and flying around and having a good old time again. It was like
when we were inside.
Yeah, we were inside. Right. Everything started to come out, and the populations of fish started recovering and things started changing for the better, all off of us being away from the environment. So, there's something to be said there too, man. But, I guess to take it all the way back to Jamie Foxx, I don't understand why they pressured that man to take that vaccine, because according to all reports, he didn't want to take the vaccine. He was against it, and they forced him to do it in order to do that movie. And in taking that vaccine, he got a blood clot, which they know is reported, allegedly got a blood clot. I don't know for sure if that's the case, but which we know, there have been reports that it causes blood clots. And, my friend, one of my best friends, his dad passed away from a blood clot as well after getting the vaccine. So,
man, very sensitive subject for me. As you guys both know, I've suffered from that 2 times. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Which is, one was a massive embolism, and which almost took me out without even knowing. So blood clots definitely ain't no joke. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you don't even know. Doesn't matter if you're in the best of shape. It doesn't matter if you're in the best of health. They can pop up. And when they do, they move quickly. And they can start down at the bottom of your foot, and they work their way up to where they can suck the most blood, which is your heart, and where it could clot in your brain. And so, like I said, I mean, it's just, whenever I hear that, man, it just makes me kind of eerie. You know what I'm saying? Because God has allowed me to still be here from recovering from 2 of them. You know what I'm saying? And just, is just a blessing. And I just, like I said, I had to, because of coaching, we had to take the vaccine in order to coach. And I hadn't took it. I took it up into the last date that you could even do it before I had to take it, but I had to do it in order to be able to coach the kids. It was something that they required. Other than that, I wasn't going to do it. I had no intentions on doing it at all. And that was the only time I did do it. And fortunately, God covered me and covered my body that I never suffered from COVID-19, which I feel is a blessing in itself, because it seems like everybody that you know had it. You know what I'm saying? And they were affected in some way.
Yeah. And when I got that vaccine, I was surprised, man, because I went to the doctor's office, and all in the news at that time was that the pharmaceutical companies weren't being forced to reveal the ingredients, the mixtures, whatever that recipe that they're cooking up. They weren't being forced to do that. So I specifically asked the nurse about that when I was getting the vaccine, and she did not know had no clue what I was talking about. So I was like, well, there's a lot of uninformed people, and there's a lot of things being pushed on us, and there's a lot of information that's not being provided about what's happening. And I thought that was a scary thing as well. So I don't know, man. It felt like something else was at play. It felt like a lot of people think it was a big money play, and I tend to agree. Or population control. There's something else. There was something else cooking there, and my heart goes out. My prayers go out to Jamie Foxx, man.
Right. Yeah, for sure, man. Get better, man.
And everybody else has been impacted by that COVID-19 situation.
Agree. And it's time for me to say that it isn't. And I say what I said, not to say that it wasn't something that wasn't real. I truly believe it was something that was real, just the way I think it was handled.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy, man. Like you said, and you just never really know, because there's their story, there's your story, and then there's the truth. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we only can go based off what's shared. Right. At some point in time, when he does get better, the truth will come out, though, with what he experienced. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Definitely. On another note, fellas, God bless our president, man. He fell. He took a tumble again at the graduation ceremony, and needed help getting up, man. God bless our president, man. He got to stay on his feet, though, man.
Hey, you see the other one of him falling the 3 times up the stairs, trying to board the plane?
Yeah, that was the first time, but it just happened. It just happened again, though.
Hey.
My favorite was when he was on the bike and he rolled up on the bike and he was
like, someone was saying, "How are you that old, bro? And riding a bicycle, you don't even put your feet down." Like, he just fell over.
So let me ask you guys this question so we can kind of get into it. Is that a bad look for America? And what are the positives and what are the negatives on that?
I'm not gonna lie to you. This guy, he's 80 years old, bro. What are we gonna expect? My guy is 80, and they're talking about my guy running again in 2024. Like, stop, bro. Like, 80? No, you should not be running for no president. You should be retired somewhere. You should be golfing. You should be, kick back and relaxing on the weekends. You should not be the leader of the state.
Of the country? Of the country?
Of the country. You should not be the head of state, bro. No way, no. Not at 80. There should be a cutoff age. It should be from like 60. If you retire, like, can't you? Ain't 65 the retired age? If you pass 65, you should not be able to run president.
Yeah, 65. You said.
If you ain't that retired? Ain't that when you collect Social Security?
No, I think it's 72 now.
Oh, well, hey, 70. All right, I'll give you 72. If you had 72, you should not be doing anything else. My opinion.
What's your take, RK?
He said he should only be going to IHOP and get that senior.
The Rudy Tooty fresh and fruity, man.
Man, or that moved over Miami from Dennis, bro.
This guy, man.
Man, my take is that, man, I think that Joe Biden. The cool part about it is, look at the politics, the landscape of it, man. If you got to run against Trump, he's like one of the few guys that's going to be able to beat Trump. Again, if they run again. And Trump is about the same age, but Trump isn't in the same condition, which is amazing, right? It's weird in itself. But I just think that, man, it's not even about the policies. It's just the fact that he's just so old and he's getting kind of frail and feeble up there. His policies are sharp, but he can't even vocalize them all the time. He's had some decline. You know what I mean? And at his age, you would hope that he would retire, but he's kind of like he's the guy we need right now because of his background, his history, his knowledge of the issues, and what he can do. But at the same time, he's just frail. But so how's that look to I imagine that how we look to the rest of the world is like we just got an old man, a really old man running the country. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Really old, man. And that's I would think, man, you want to project strength. I don't know. I miss Obama, man. He was cool. He come in, you know what I'm saying? He had his wife by his side. He could crack a joke. He could shoot a shot, you know what I'm saying? Joe Biden is just like,
No.
That was Obama's vice president, man.
I know. He needed that guy to get that validation from the party to say that they had somebody that was of the party with him. Like, because he was such a newcomer, they needed that this is a guy that knows the party and knows how to play the game and can wiggle inside Washington, which Biden has proven he can do as the president. He's gotten a lot of things passed. Yeah.
Right. Just don't have
I think that senior citizens sometimes have senior moments. Like you said, it's a blessing that he's alive at 80 years old. You know what I'm saying? And being able to. So I look at it in just a different perspective. I mean, like I said, if not him, then who? You know what I'm saying? You just got to kind of be careful and guide your steps, Mr. President, or you know what I'm saying? They make sure that the carpet ain't ruffled or whatever it is. Make sure this stuff is in a clear path for him. You know what I'm saying? Because he does got to take his time. What's that?
Use a walker?
No, you can't let the president use a walker, man. Come on, man. He's perfectly capable to stand up there. He just got to take his time, though. You know what I'm saying? You just got to take his time. Hey, he's our president of the United States, man. It is what it is. But like I said, I just think that as you get older, and we all pray to be able to live to see that age, you got to take you got to take baby steps. You know what I'm saying? And you got to take your time. And have somebody have the first lady on your arm to walk so you can tread carefully.
I heard somebody say he can't even eat solid food, man.
See, that ain't cool.
Divers? Look, everybody can take long trips.
Hey, that is not cool, man.
But I'm just giving him a hard time, though, man. I think he's cool, man. He just old. That's just the truth. Father time is undefeated.
Right. I've watched my mom get older. I've watched my mother-in-law get older, where they used to just be alive and kicking and never stopping, and they've slowed down a lot. You know what I'm saying? And with the senior citizenship, and they have a right to. They've lived life and they've been there, and you got to be able to take your time a little bit, man. It's just that the problem is he's in the spotlight because he's the number one guy in our country. He's leading the charge. So when anything he does, whether it's good, bad, ugly, big or small, is gonna have a perspective. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of what he does.
That's true.
Because somebody said something about when LSU came and he was like, it took him a long time to hug the players. I'm like, man, he just was being careful. You know what I'm saying? People have a perspective or a meme for everything. That's why Michael Jordan said at Kobe's funeral when he's crying, now I got to deal with these memes for the next 3 years again. It's internet's undefeated.
Doing a speech and was talking about a lady who had passed away 2 years prior. The lady wasn't even around. He was like, yeah, wooty. The lady 2 years. I'm like, bruh.
Who, the president, Mr. President?
Biden, right?
Yeah.
2 years prior, but talking about it like, yeah, where Jessica at? Like, where?
I blame that on his staff though, of not having him properly equipped, man.
Oh, bro, hey, he's old. He's old. He's old.
He's old, but he's our president, bro.
Oh, he's
Mr. President, man, take care of yourself, Mr. President.
Yeah.
That's what I say. Now, this right here is a very, very, very eerie situation. I want to hear you guys' perspective because I have my own perspective. I think there's sometimes when you go too far. And this is talking about this is this. Snowfall, the TV show. Actors say that they will go to a dark place in order to perform. Damson Idris says that he called on the devil to perform the series final season. I can't. I can't and I won't. I can't. Hey, listen, I'm not selling my soul for none of that, man. Like I said, with Heath Ledger, when he played the Joker,
and
they said that he got so deep into the role where it kind of drove him crazy. Like, it's not worth it, man. So I want to hear you guys' perspective. Go ahead.
Okay.
All right. I watched that season, man. I watched. I gotta say, Snowfall was a heck of a series. His performance during that final series, was phenomenal. You know what I mean? His performance was crazy. It was good. I mean, it was cold. It was just so cold-blooded you wouldn't believe it. But to hear that, to hear him vocalize that he went to that place that he actually called him, man, that's taking it too far. I mean, come on, man. You're only pretending. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be
silly rabbit Teresa for kids.
Exactly. You don't have to sell your soul like you said, man. It's not that serious, man. The series was over. You know what I'm saying? You could have mailed it in if you wanted to. But but he did. It was that final season was really good, man. But I don't think he should have went that far. I just think that's a bit much, man. Now I heard of a jazz player that has a song that talking about he met the devil at the crossroads.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's the same thing. Basically talking about selling his soul.
People got to realize the devil is real, man. It ain't that ain't nothing. You don't play with that, man.
Ouija board. Hey, Boogie,
no,
you don't play on none of those stuff. Look, I'm not going that far. Sorry. Look, we didn't have to count me out of that role. Look.
Yeah, it ain't worth it, man. You're not getting that because you can never can't come back from that.
No.
Yeah, I wonder how this. Oh, I kind of thought maybe this is I don't believe. I don't know if it's. I can't say I don't believe. I don't know if it's real, the Illuminati and all that. But I wonder if it was a play that now that the series is over, he's trying to fit into that weird Hollywood world and putting out a bat signal procedures to try to get some more work or something to fit in, to get into the in club, to get them roles. I don't know, man. But that was too far. Definitely
interesting. Hey, man, we like to take a pause for the cause, and we like to give a huge shout out to Tiny Tots Development Center, where their CEO is Angela Hicks Maxey, huge supporter of the Only Pod Can Judge Me cast. We like to give a huge shout out to Tiny Tots Development Center. They have like 8 or 9 different locations for childcare. We salute you, Miss Angela K. Love and respect. We are in our favorite. Go ahead.
Just to go on it, like wonderful lady. Ever since I met her, always been a sweetheart, always loving, always smiling, always great energy. Just appreciate her in so many ways. But I turned on the TV and was watching the Storm game, and Sue Bird was in town, or Sue Bird and Breonna Stewart, her first game back. And look, guess who I seen in the background? I started to take a picture of it and Snapchat it and send it to her. Angie was in the background at the game on courtside when it was hugging.
Oh yeah. She's a fan. We got a cousin that plays for the Storm, Jewel Lloyd. Yeah, so I mean, she's definitely connected. They call it, what do they call it? The Gold Mamba.
Yeah.
I think they call her something like that. So yeah, she's definitely since those two are gone, man, she's taking her reign as the go-to player on the Storm team. So whenever you guys want to go to a game, let me know, man. We can get out there and we can support them for sure.
Yeah. Definitely.
We're at our favorite part, gentlemen. Y'all ready for this?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It is called Rapid Fire. Rapid Fire. Delta Airlines or Alaska Airlines?
Delta for sure.
Delta.
Easy?
Easy.
Jordan 4s or the Jordan 6s?
4s.
6s, only if they're the clear joints from back in the day.
And the tip of them got fallen.
Here's an interesting one. I think this, if you guys follow anything with baseball, I think it was a big deal. But who you taking, Mark McGwire or Sammy Sosa?
Oh.
Man, that's a tough one. I like Sammy, but I'm gonna take Mark.
Yeah, for some reason, I remember the Bash Brothers, and I go with Mark McGwire.
You go with Mark McGwire?
Yeah.
Okay. A cruise or plane?
I'm gonna go cruise. I think on cruise you can do a lot more.
I think, cruises. I was talking about this earlier, and cruises are fun, especially if you have a lot of people.
Right. You go with 12, 10, your party, you good.
Yep.
Captain Crunch or Frosted Flakes?
Do I have to pick? Cinnamon toast.
That wasn't an option.
Hey, but the Captain Crunch peanut butter joints, I'll go there. I'll go to Captain Crunch peanut butters.
Whoa.
This guy's created his own angles, man. Just answer the question.
The Captain Crunch peanut butters is fire.
Okay.
I'm Tony the Tiger all day.
Hey, Frosted Flakes are bomb, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Hey, growing up, we didn't have the resources like that. So we weren't getting the Frosted Flakes. We was getting the other little healthy cereal.
You had the Corn Flakes.
The Corn Flakes and dipping a whole lot of sugar in them babies.
Hey, but the Captain Crunch, they'll scratch up the top of your mouth, man. Your mouth be filling those.
And that's why I like them, because you can soak them in that milk a long time and they didn't get old.
That's really real. John Elway or Peyton Manning?
Peyton for sure.
I'm a John Elway guy.
Peyton for sure.
I don't believe the hype with Peyton, man. I believe they gave him that Super Bowl at the end of his career. Yeah, I'm just not buying it.
And I believe Elway played on super teams.
Really? That's interesting. That's interesting. That's interesting.
When you got Big Sherm that we were just talking, or our uncle, who we just talking about? Man.
You said Shannon Sharpe?
Shannon, was Shannon on Elway when they was there too?
He's a tight end.
Yeah, they had Shannon. They had what's the receiver? They had another receiver.
Who?
I can't remember his name, but they had a solid.
No, I hear you. I hear you. Let me ask you guys this: if you could go any place in the world and it was paid for round trip, where are you going?
Dubai.
Bali.
Ooh. Bali, Dubai, they about the same, but yeah.
And my next question is to you, why those two places?
Ooh. Man.
Bali's tropical, it's beautiful, man. It's just a beautiful place to be. It's not a place that is overrun with tourism. It's a place to go relax. You know what I mean? That's why I chose Bali.
And I chose Dubai because it's like, it smells, just the name, look, it looks rich. Like it looks like it smells like you walking into one of them good hotels in Vegas, bro. Like if you walking into Bellagio, like it just smells like man, look.
The air is fresh and everything.
Like it don't got no litter on the ground. It ain't polluted no way, no how. Like it just, man.
I had to get that out there because, like I said, I have dreams and aspirations. we continue to do what we need to do, we'll get to those places for sure. But
Yes,
one
sir.
more question, 2 more questions for rapid fire. And I think this would be tough if you guys are movie buffs. We got Goodfellas or we got Scarface?
I'm gonna go Scarface.
Yeah, Scarface for me.
Hands down?
Yeah.
And then we got Boys in the Hood or Menace to Society?
Ooh, that's a good one. I'm gonna go Boys in the Hood. Ricky!
I gotta go Menace, man.
Look, I like it's good too.
Yeah, I just Menace. I was a little bit older when I seen it, and it felt like I felt like I was right there at the moment. With Boys in the Hood, I was looking at a little bit over the older guys, a little bit.
Hey man, this has been a beautiful time with you gentlemen, man. We appreciate the love, the respect. Really, it's important to us, though, ladies and gentlemen out there, you subscribers, man. First of all, we'd like to say thank you. Second of all, we'd like to get some feedback from you. The comments, we will definitely read them. We will take heed, but the different topics that you may want to hear with the topic discussion, we're going to be having special guests soon, but we just want to make sure that you like and you subscribe. Fellas, before we get out of here, you guys have any last words for the people for this week or this weekend?
Man, this weekend, reach out to an individual who you haven't spoke to in a while, and don't just reach out over a text message. Call that individual or go visit that individual, FaceTime that individual. Do one of those things. Reach out to somebody this week.
Yes, sir.
And I say, take the time, to sit with a child, man, talk with a child, man, and let them know that you hear them and that you see where they're coming from. You tap in with somebody young.
In my perspective, I say it's been sweep around your own front door so you don't got to sweep around mine. That's an old school song. Nah, but what I would say is, man, you can't treat everybody else right until you make sure that you got your own household taken care of. So love those that are in the home with you. Treat them like kings, queens, princes, and princesses. And then I think the rest will kind of line itself up, man. Only Pod can judge us, man. We love y'all. Respect. We out.
Only Pod.